Today we start part C of Module 2, Cascading Style Sheets. But before we start this new topic, I'd like to complete another video for the B part B, because I have 3 more elements to cover in part B. So our part C.1, we will complete the last basic HTML elements, part 4. Now, all right, let's look at the first element for this video, HTML iframes. Now, this element is quite useful. Actually, for this class, when I prepare my video HTML file, I use this element. How do I embed multiple videos in one page? I use this element. All right, so let's take a look. An HTML iframe, what's the meaning of I? Inline frame. So we will look at the detail later. So HTML iframe, that is the tag name or element tag name. Okay, iframe is used to display a web page, not necessarily video. It could be another web page, a web page within a web page. So what's the meaning of that? Suppose you have one current web page, web document, web page, current, okay, In your current web page, you want to embed another document from different URL, location, somewhere in the web. You want to embed the content of that one somewhere in your page. In my video page, I want to embed a YouTube video in my page. So you can understand that situation. I embed YouTube video in the page I post in Canvas. So I need that feature. All right, so here. Then we can use this element. All right, so let me explain the inline frame details. The HTML iframe tag specify an inline frame. An inline frame is used to embed another document within the current HTML document. I already explained. But here, because embed another document within the current, then there is some security concern. So when I talk about this element, I may need to discuss a little bit security concern. Why security concern? Because when you embed a web page from somewhere in the web, how do you know that web page does not contain virus? It's a harmful web page. How do you know that? Right? So there is a possibility you may embed a harmful web page. So for that reason, sometimes some websites, they do not allow iframe element. So they set their security standard very high, so they disable that. Some of the websites, they disable this feature. That's possible. So you need to be aware of it. There is a possibility you are not allowed to use this feature. Fortunately, our canvas allows it. So I can embed, my YouTube videos in the HTML files I post in Canvas. All right. So then let's look at the syntax. Pretty simple. Iframe, the tag name, then the attribute source, src, similar to our image, img element. Source, src, URL of the document in some special location in the web, then title, description. Okay, all right. Then you can also specify height because you open a small window. Look at the video, I open a small window. I need to set the size of the window with height, number of pixels, right? Width, so number of points. Regarding the height and width, the number, so here we can use for the image case, we use the number of pixels, right? Image case, number of pixels. And because here at this point, we can use the pixel numbers to understand it. Okay, And later, when we move to CSS, you will see there are many different units we can use to specify width and height. All right. Simple example. So iframe example. Source, the URL of some document. All right. And height, width, title. You can see the content is empty, no content. For the element like this, we just use the attributes to provide the information for this element. We don't need to put any content here, similar to the case of image case. All right. Then another special feature. Let me explain that. Iframe target for a link. Here, when we use iframe feature element, we can specify target. So what's the target thing? When here, let me talk about anchor element, hyperlink, anchor element. When you use this element, you have a target concept, right? Target. When you click a hyperlink, your web browser will visit URL specified by this hyperlink. That URL, the document connected using that URL, we call a target. Here, we use that target concept. Hyperlink target concept. Here. Similar meaning. An iframe can be used as the target frame for a link. So what's that? Target frame for a link. All right. You have a hyperlink. For example, you have a hyperlink. All right. When you click the hyperlink, then the document referred by that hyperlink will be displayed in your iframe. That's the meaning. Let me repeat that again. Do not get confused. All right. Here you have two elements. Hyperlink element and iframe element. All right. You set the target of your hyperlink to that iframe. When you set in that way, when you click the hyperlink, the content of your target will be displayed in that iframe. That's the meaning. I need to use a lot of sentences to describe it. Yeah. Not easy to understand. Yeah. So let's look at the example so you can understand the meaning better. Yeah. The target attribute of the link, hyperlink, must refer to the name attribute of the iframe. When you do that, then these two elements are connected. So they will work the way I just described it. Okay? Let me use one simple example so you can understand it better. Now look at this example. Now, iframe, SRC, the document to be embedded. Yeah. Name, yeah, here you need this name attribute. In the name attribute, the name iframe underscore A here, this should match the target. All right? Yeah. The target attribute of another hyperlink. Yeah, we will see that soon. Yeah. Then title remaining attributes. Yeah. Next, let's look at the hyperlink element. Yeah. In this hyperlink element, you put a target attribute. In the target attribute, the value you put there, the same as the name attribute value of the iframe. When you do that, these two elements are connected. Okay? Try your best to understand this relationship. Yeah. Why? Because I will create a programming question for this feature. Programming question, we will have one. Now, the question is, I want to create a video player. So you know that, right? We can play multiple videos in that player, simple player window. Then at the bottom of that player, I put several hyperlinks. Each hyperlink connects to one particular video. All right? When you click the first one, then the first video is played in that embedded iframe. Then you jump to the second one, the second video is played there, and so on. Okay? So that feature. So I have a programming question for this particular feature here. Yeah. If you do not know the feature here, then most of the students, they do not know how to do it. If you do not understand the example I explained here, it is pretty hard to do that example. All right, so that's why I spend a lot of time explaining this feature. All right, next, two more features, one for video, one for audio. Now, here I like to go a little faster because at this point, we do not have a chance to practice these two elements. I may like to delay practice when we learn how to use web server. At that point, then we can use these two features. All right, first, HTML video element. You can display the video. So this one, so what's the difference from the iframe way and this way? Iframe way, you use embedded way, embed. The source comes from a different URL, embed. This way, video, the source comes from your own server. So that's a different ways. So try to see the difference. Yeah. All right. So if your video comes from your own web server, then you can use this video element. All right. Example is like this. So video, you just use the video element directly. Yeah. Width, height, controls, because when you play video, you need a control, right? Yep. You need to control bar. Yeah. When you do the control bar, you need to use this attribute. But for this attribute, you do not need to provide a value. You only provide the name of the attribute. That's enough for the web browser. The browser understands how to do the work, how to display the control bar in the standard location. Yeah. Bottom of the player standard location. Yeah. All right. The controls attribute adds video controls like play, pause, and the volume. Yep, the standard control bar. Yeah. All right. Then the source element. You need to provide your video source, right? Yeah, from your own server, but you need to specify your video file name and the necessary path information. Yeah. So the source element, yeah, allows you to specify alternative video files which the browser may choose from. Yeah. Yeah, alternative. Yeah. The browser will use for the first recognized format, alternative files. Yeah. But you should have the, because when we talk alternative, you should have the original video file, right? Then, because we know a video file can have multiple formats. Yeah. Yeah, all right. So here, to understand this element, so we need to work on some example. Yeah. After we have the experience, then we can understand better. Yeah, because here, only look at the abstract description using this element may not be good enough. Yeah. All right. So here I do not, because after we learn how to use the web server, then we come back to look at this element another time. Yeah. Hopefully we get a better understanding. Yeah. All right. So the text between video tags only be displayed in the browser, do not support. Yeah, just like image, right? Image, alt. Remember, there is alt attribute. When the image file is not available, then you have a string to be displayed as the value of the alt attribute. Here, you have the similar thing. Yeah. All right, so here, this content part. When the video, due to some reason, cannot be displayed, yeah, so that text will be displayed. Yeah. So that part easy to understand. Yeah. But we want to, see how to display a video from our own server, right? From our own server. So we need to have a server first. At this point, we do not have a web server. Yeah, but we will have it soon when we get to that point. When we get to the server-side programming using PHP, we will have it. Yeah. All right. Let's look at another element, audio element. Yeah. Similar to the video element, but we have an audio version here. Yeah. Example, yeah, similar to the video way, yeah, but we just do the audio way. Okay, yeah. To see how it works, I may like to delay after we learn the PHP. I try to create a programming question. Yeah, we can practice these two elements there. Yeah. All right, so let me finish this part C of this part 4 of basic HTML elements.